In 1953, a series of secret experiments about mind control was started by the CIA. The program was initially named Project Artichoke, but that somehow didn't catch on, so it was later renamed with a more sinister sounding name out of a spy novel. Mkultra. You may have heard about it. They actually started doing their experiments at Harvard University, and one of the patients that was part of this initial phase of the program was a certain student called Theodore Kaczynski. You may know him better by his later nickname, the Unabomber. He later sent bombs by mail and wrote a manifesto that is an interesting criticism of the evils of technology. By the late 50s, someone observed that experimenting on American citizens on American soil was perhaps not such a good idea. Maybe someone could be sued, you know? So by the end of the decade, they moved most of the experiments to Montreal in Canada. It all took place in the Allen Memorial Institute at McGill University. It does look a little bit like a ghost house or a haunted castle perched atop the hill on the back of McGill campus, but I visited it and it's not as creepy as it seems in the photographs. What was creepy, what was going on inside its walls, where they gave patients LSD and electric shocks, and forced them to hear tape loops of repetitive words and noise for hours on end. Some say that one of the initial patients there was an unknown young poet and McGill student called Leonard Cohen.
It seems so long ago.
The experiments were led by Dr. Ewan Cameron, who had this theory about what he called the patterning and psychic drive. The idea was to do a mental reset of the patients by giving them different types of drugs, including LSD and curare and electroconvulsive therapy, and forcing them to hear repetitive messages for hours on end. He hoped to break down the patient's personality. That was the patterning part. Then, with psychic driving, the intention was to drive thoughts inside the person in order to create a new personality that was more amenable to obey commands. But the actual results were not that great. Many of the patients ended up with amnesia, depression, and other mental and physical issues. Eventually, the program was closed by CIA, all the records were destroyed in 1973, the victims received a small compensation for their troubles, and everything ended. Or did it? Perhaps it never really ended, it simply became mainstream. What is the media, including social media, and Hollywood, if not a huge brainwashing operation? Facebook itself started as a DARPA project called LifeLog. Supposedly, it was discontinued in 2004. But guess what? DARPA was shut down on the exact same day that Facebook was launched. Coincidence? Of course, it's not just social media, but all types of media, including mainstream media and large parts of the alternative media. I don't have a television at home, but recently I visited a friend who was watching the nightly news on TV. I hadn't watched a newscast in years, and it was strange to watch one again. What impressed me mostly was how many times they repeated the same words and the same image, as a sort of hypnotic trance, always treating the viewer as if he was a small, dumb child. But you will say, well, it's not the same as MKUltra, at least they are not injecting us with drugs.
You serious?
Really? Are you aware of what they are putting in the water, in the air, in the food, in the medicines that they give you? You, my friend, are also a MKUltra patient. You just don't know it.